what on earth do Claude Shannon and Ruby have to do with each other? We made a lot of money, thank the Lord, out of Claude Shannon's theory because we got in front of the wireless business and we helped build a wireless business that ended up becoming part of Verizon and AT&T, and I was really grateful for it. I'm independently wealthy. I'm retired at 46. So I think, well, I could live on the back of a boat, but that would probably get boring. I don't know many boring men that I think are very interesting, so I don't really think I'm going to go get bored. But I'm not quite sure what to do with myself, and I told my wife, I said, I'm going to take a year before I look at doing something else seriously. And I had other CEO jobs I could have done, and I thought, I don't know. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go back to Rwanda, because I remembered I'd had this conversation with a guy named Paul Kagame about 5 years before. So that conversation was from a trip that Dale Dawson and I took. We went over, we took our families. At that point, I'm a wireless company CEO, I guess would have been my title. And the president hears there's a wireless company CEO in the country and he'd like to have dinner. And I'm like, man, I've got my kids. We're just here working on an orphanage. I'm on vacation. He doesn't really want to have dinner with us. You know, let's pass. And Dale's like, I don't know, it'd kind of be fun. Let's go. And so I tell my kids, I said, don't you say a word. I don't have an opinion on anything. You don't know anything. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. That's all you say. We're going to be in and out of there in an hour. We'll go get pizza. 5 hours later, we're sitting around a table having a discussion that I had no idea at the time would change my life. Our kids, Dale's kids, my kids, the president's kids, and the whole security team are playing soccer in the basement of the house. And we're carrying on about, why are white guys rich? Try that one out for a dinner conversation, first time you meet him. And I'm like, okay, I guess I've come over here to hear why white guys are rich. This is going to be interesting. And he goes, white guys are rich. He says, I'm trying to pinpoint it. This is what I'm working on right now. He goes, white guys are rich because they lived in a society that figured 3 or 4 big ideas out. I don't think they implemented it very well here. We've got our own history because of that. But they figured it out, and you can see it in a lot of places. And we've got to figure out the elements of that and bring that back here. Whoa. I said, sir, pardon, sir, you're high, Mr. Excellence, I think those are the 3 freedoms of Western civilization you referenced. They used to teach it in schools in America. They don't anymore. But I think those are the 3 freedoms of Western civilization. He says, go on. I said, well, sir, that's religious freedom, political freedom, and economic freedom. Religious freedom is you're created by God, therefore you have meaning regardless of what another man says about you. You have political freedom because you have meaning because you were created by God. You can associate with whomever you'd like for whatever reasons you'd like. You are free to do what you'd like to do. And I said the economic freedom says if you want to do something and you can create a profit out of it, you have the right to keep the benefit of the profit. It doesn't belong to other people. It's yours. He said, yes, now let's keep working on that. He says, what does it take? This is the greatest question he ever asked. He says, what does it really take? Don't give me platitudes. Don't give me policies. Don't give me talking points. What does it really take to attract capital to a country like Rwanda 9 years out of the genocide? I said, well, and quickly I became an economist. Well, on one hand, and I said, well, sir, I don't know about anybody else because, I'm not a policy guy. I'm actually I fight for a living. That's what I do. I'm a commercial actor. I'm not a policy wonk. I'm not degreed in any of it. I fight for a living. And I said, but I would come here and I would fight for Rwanda if what would have to be true? The rule of law existed to everyone equally. And that means your tax collecting authority has no more status in front of the law than I do. And we could actually have a debate about what the law was. So the rule of law has got to be prevalent. He said, right, got it. I said, you have to have 0 corruption. He said, 0. I said, 0. I mean, not $5 to the guy at the dock. He says, okay, we can do that. And I said, and then you have to have mature tax and regulatory policy. And I said, because politicians, sir, tend to think that what they say in a speech is what is heard. And I said, the business community that I come from, we don't even listen to speeches. We don't listen to political speeches. We don't listen to talking points. We don't listen to, visions of what we want to be or talk of fairness, or we don't listen. We listen to and watch for what you really mean, which is the way you implement tax and regulatory policy. If it's fair, if it's consistent, if it's actually capital formation friendly, then people will come. And if you keep changing it, or you see somebody's got a profit and you think, oh, we need a new tax there, or you think somebody needs a different price, you say, oh, I'm going to set the price. We, the state, are going to set the price. I said, you will run it out, and capital won't form. So we got put on this Economic Advisory Council, and we went to work, and that was 15 years ago. And you saw the numbers from the presentation this morning. Where was Rwanda on every one of those metrics? Number one, number one, number one. What's that practically mean? What that practically means is they've gone from like the 5th worst infant mortality rate in the world to tied with the United States in 15 years.